From the WJBD newsroom, I'm Jon Mattson. Here's a look at what's happening. Newly hired state workers and teachers would have to work until the age of 67 before they can retire under pension reform legislation now on the governor's desk. Senate President John Collerton feels the new system will save Illinois billions over the next few decades, as well as give the state more flexibility for other projects. The state's largest employee union, AFSCME, says the solution lies in funding the state's current pension system rather than cutting benefits. Current teachers and state workers will still receive benefits promised to them when they were hired. The Cal Grade School has cut one special education teaching position and reduced another by 80%. However, Superintendent Sharon White says the reason is fewer special education students. White says regular classroom teachers will all remain for the coming school year. The district is cutting cross-country and is looking at all expenses for the reduction. The district will lose $112,000 if state funding is cut by 17%. The district is also currently owed $25,000 in overdue state reimbursement for this school year. The cost of closing the Salem Landfill will now top $600,000. Salem City Manager Thomas Christie says that is an increase of about $200,000. He reports changing EPA rules and underestimating the amount of ground cover is behind that change.
We still feel confident that we'll be able to absorb those costs in our present rate structure. We do not foresee any rate increases to offset that. But it's going to be more of a challenge. We may very well have to secure a short-term loan in order to make sure that closure takes place according to IEPA regulations.
Christie says while commercial waste haulers are no longer using the landfill, the city will continue to take some waste past the anticipated April 1st closure date as long as space remains to earn additional revenue. Salem Grade School Superintendent Mark Cartwright says not only are staff reductions hard on the school family, they will likely mean a larger class size, a drop in the quality of education, and probably lower test scores on standardized tests like those for No Child Left Behind. The district cut 2 teachers this week in an effort to deal with the loss of state funding expected next year. Salem Grade School Board of Education President Terry Barfield says they've worked very hard to turn deficits into positive balances and is not happy with the possibility of balances being wiped out within a single year by irresponsible fiscal management by the state. And State Senator John O. Jones is raising questions about spending in the Illinois Department of Corrections. Among them, why the cash-strapped agency issued emergency contracts to purchase sugar cookies, pays to provide cable channels like Spike TV to inmates, and recently examined purchasing webcams for inmates. Jones says the General Assembly spends a lot of time protecting children from sex offenders who use the internet and hopes they don't plan to deploy webcams at Big Money Correctional Center, which specializes in housing sex offenders. Jones fears a hot, long summer, overcrowding, understaffing, and a, quote, complete lack of direction from senior administrators may lead to something horrible if DOC doesn't get their priorities straight. In the WJBD newsroom, I'm Jon Mattson.
WJBDradio.com